Be sure to grab your free copy of my list of 27 tools, resources, and software programs I use to run my businesses on a tight budget. You can get it at thesarahstjohn.com/27 tools. That's THESARAHSTJOHN.com/27 tools. Welcome to the Frugalpreneur Podcast. I am your host, Sarah St. John, and my guest today is Jack Blanchett from Descript. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I love Descript. I've been using it for over a year now. I started on the free plan, and now I'm on the $15 a month plan. And I don't spend much money on business expenses, period. Descript is one of the few things I actually pay for and find that it's worth it. In case someone doesn't know what Descript is, I'll just go off on some of its features and then we can go into more detail. So it offers transcription, screen recording, audiograms, overdub, video editing, filler word removal, which I use anytime I do a podcast. I will put it in, I'll take the audio, put it into Descript. It'll create the transcript, and then I'll edit the audio with the transcript and automatically remove ums and uhs. And I'm finding it way quicker than any other platform. But anyway, I guess if you could give us a little background maybe on your story and how you got started with Descript and how the company even got started.
Sounds great. Well, the kind of quick and easy sales pitch from our end about Descript is that it's a software that allows you to edit audio or video as easily as editing a Google Doc. And, for years, one of the challenges of learning to do something like start your own podcast or start your own YouTube series was that editing tools are actually quite difficult to learn. So for me, I started actually learning how to edit on a podcast of a friend of my family's. He was one of the first people I ever knew in podcasting. And back when I was in high school, I interned for him and he taught me a couple of key commands on how to edit. And literally my job was to just edit out filler words. It was to find the uhs, it was to find the ums and just cut them down just so he could listen to his podcasts again. And they would be free of mistakes, clumsiness, bad audio, things like that. So, fast forward to a couple of years later, and I worked in the media business as a career, actually as a sports television producer. When I saw the filler word removal feature in Descript's product video, I thought, wow, that makes so much sense. I have to find out more about this. So I spent some time really researching and looking into the company and joined the team actually just about a year ago. So it's been an exciting place down on the business development team, and we're growing quickly, bringing on lots of users and of all shapes and sizes. Small businesses, one person trying to, an influencer trying to do it on their own, to some of the biggest media organizations out there.
Yeah, it seems like it's growing really rapidly. When I first started using it, no one knew what it was. Like when I'd mention it, they're like, oh, what's that? But now everybody, I feel like, knows what it is.
It's funny because we find sometimes that the biggest challenges to growth is that people almost don't want to tell people about it because it's made them so much faster and so much more efficient that they want to keep that secret to themselves. It's almost a little too good to be true. Thankfully, we're able to pretty quickly break through those barriers. But sometimes people will say, literally, I would love to tell people about this, but I don't want to give away what is something that has made me a faster editor.
Right, exactly. I mean, I felt that way a little bit, but then I was like, well, it's too good. I can't just not share it. And y'all recently came out with the video editing, which I haven't tried that yet because so far I've just done audio podcasts, but my plan is to start doing video. So the way that works, I guess, is similar. You just upload the video, but then you can edit the video by editing the transcript as well.
Yeah, it works the exact same way. So obviously, it's a little bit kind of easier to conceptualize with audio. In video, there's literally an extra dimension there. If I copy, cut, paste, delete something, we'll just make little edits in the video. You can add some more complicated edits, some fades and things like that. But great way to make a first pass, cut things down, find selects easily. Just actually a great way to kind of build an archive too, and then it's fully searchable for video. Great for product videos as well. We have a screen recording tool built in, so you can click that screen recorder and then easily record and polish your videos using that. It'll make little jump cuts in the video as you get rid of words, but works really similarly. It's a little new right now. There's still a lot that we have to build and a lot of features that I'm really excited that we're developing this year that I think will make a lot of individual creators really happy.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that screen share thing because I had been looking at Loom and Screencast-O-Matic and these different screen share software, but then Descript came out with it and I was like, oh, there's another software I don't have to use. I haven't tried using it yet. So I guess it works the same way. You can have your face if you want, like in a corner or something while you're showing your screen.
Right. Exact same way as the screen recorders on the market. The one I think really meaningful advantage that we offer is transcription built into all of your screen recordings. So you can see what you're saying. You can edit it the same way that you loved editing in Descript by editing the text. You can either have a little circle of your face down at the bottom as you walk through a presentation, or are taking like a customer support call or something like that. Or you can do full screen recording of yourself as well. So great if you're like a vlogger and want to just use it for your stand-ups. Just makes it so simple to go from click that button, record, get started, start editing the way you're familiar with. And you don't have to worry about doing take after take because you can see what your takes are saying as you're recording. So that's what we really feel like is going to be a big growth driver for us, just when people see how easy it is to use.
So really the only thing that you can't do with video is like something like now where you're doing like a remote recording where there's two people or more than two talking to, like a Zoom type of thing. I guess you don't have that capability. Are y'all thinking about implementing that, or is that kind of not really, that's kind of going a little bit outside of what it is, I guess. It's kind of making it more complicated.
Obviously Zoom is world class at video collaboration, hosting these meetings. I don't think we'll ever be a full meeting software. And yet we're looking at ways to build better tools to make it easier to go from hosting a meeting to editing directly. So that's a one-click. We actually do right now have a one-click integration with Zoom where you can copy the title of your recording, just copy the URL of it. Our Descript will notice that you have a URL from Zoom copied, and then will prompt you, ask you if you want to paste it in. So you can just paste it in, and then it'll take that video directly from the link. So you can go right from Zoom into editing in Descript by just copying the URL of your recording, or you can drop it in. But there's some really easy integrations we have right now. We'd love to make that even easier in the future, though.
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't usually use Zoom. We're using Squadcast right now because I think it has better sound quality. But that's interesting, though. So I might use Zoom for certain things now knowing that. And then I'm also curious about the Overdub. I think that's in the $30 a month plus plan, which I'm actually thinking about switching to. So as I understand it, it's like it learns your voice basically, and then you could add a sentence or something like that, or a word, and it will sound like you.
Right. So Overdub is our custom synthetic text-to-speech generator, which you can use with your own voice. So with as little as 10 minutes of audio, you can read that into Descript. It will build a custom machine learning, all this AI working behind the scenes will build you basically your own version of a Siri and Alexa, whatever your favorite smart speaker, smart assistant is. And then that'll allow you to, especially when you're editing audio, just be able to fix those things that, maybe you said Thursday and you meant Friday. Well, great. I can just type in the word Friday in my own voice and it'll come out in my own voice. And our AI then will make fine-tuned edits to blend Overdub in with the speech that you already said. So not only is it amplifying the power of your own voice, because maybe you're trying to record something and you lost your voice that day. Maybe you sound sick. Maybe you like your Overdub voice better, and you can just type it in and there comes the audio and it sounds exactly like you. Or you can use it to make some of those little fixes that, you don't have to go back to the sound booth. You don't have to retrack things. We even have some really large podcasts who use it. And what they like is that their producers are then empowered, obviously with the consent of their host. They know what's happening, to be able to make a fix here or there, or if somebody stumbles on a word, it's easy to kind of smooth some of those things out as opposed to get them back in the recording booth, which is tough to do.
Yeah, that's definitely convenient. And then I know another feature you have as well is Audiograms, which right now I've been using Headliner for Audiograms, but I think that would be so convenient to use it within Descript where it already has maybe your video if you're doing video and transcript. I guess, can you tell us a little bit about that feature?
Sure. So with all of our paid plans, you get audiograms. With Pro, you get ones that are a little bit longer. And yeah, I think they can do audiograms up to like 20 minutes or something like that. So yeah, really long ones. Honestly, there's not a day that goes by where I'm not scrolling through my Twitter feed and I don't see a Descript audiogram. It is amazing how much they've taken off. They're just a really great way to promote your own podcast. It's simple, it's intuitive. You don't have to work really hard to create them. But we have a great partnership with Headliner too, if that's a piece of software that you're already using, where you can take your podcast created in Descript, send it right to Headliner and make it look exactly the way you want. So yeah, it's just a little visual reminder of what is being said in that podcast, a little preview that helps people get some engagement. It's really amazing to me to see what people have done to customize them, put them in their own brand colors, put them with their own logos, play with all the formats. It's been really neat to see that as kind of a small, maybe not viral quite yet, but a small thing that has really taken off and just made your life easier to go from podcast editing and creation all the way to promotion all in the same place.
Well, I didn't realize that Audiograms was available on the plan I'm on. I feel like there's a lot of things that I'm capable of using that I haven't yet. I'm just overwhelmed. So with the Audiograms, can you post it directly to your social media channels through Descript, or do you just get a link that you then go into social media and post that way?
Yeah, right now it's just a link and you can download it from there, then circulate that however you see fit. We actually are working on making it easier to share those. So yeah, that should be coming later this year. Some easier ways to just go really quickly. We have some features that allow you to publish directly, like you can publish directly to YouTube from Descript and to a lot of other podcast hosting partners. And I actually have a new integration with Video Ask, which is kind of a cool way to interact with customers. It's funny that you say that because a lot of times I'll be on a demo with a customer and showing them around and they'll say, I didn't know it could do all of this. I thought it could only do podcasts. I think that's the great thing with your audience in mind. I may pick it up for a podcast or I might pick it up for a video project, but I think it'll quickly work its way into all facets of things that you want to work on, be that transcribe a meeting or make something polished for YouTube or little audiograms for social media. There's a million different things you can do with it.
One thing I'm wondering if y'all are going to implement at some point is the ability to take the final product and master it like Auphonic does, like to where everything's leveled out and all this stuff. So you wouldn't need like a third party tool like that. Is that something that y'all are working on, or?
We're working to build out some more audio features this year for sure. I don't know that we'll ever get to be as full featured as something like Pro Tools or something that's, really dedicated for audio experts. I say ever, kind of tongue in cheek, that Pro Tools is so enmeshed in the way a really dedicated audio engineer goes through their workflows. The thing is, we can make a lot of the process faster, but some of those other complicated things like plugins and stuff like that, we're just not quite there yet, and we'll have to kind of see about that someday. We would like to do some of the simpler things for audio mixing and mastering, just so you can do even more in the product. But I think the nice thing that we have is our versatility, because certainly Pro Tools is great at some of the things it does. There's a reason it's such a deep part of audio engineers' workflows. But right now we're trying to host a lot of different features that really work well together. In this kind of age of the creator, what we want to build is a tool that works really well for people who are used to creating all different types of content, as opposed to just one specific type. And that's where we feel like we can really thrive.
Yeah, definitely. I'm curious what features you have coming up that you're allowed to talk about anyway.
Sure. So I will say our product roadmap and you can always request a feature on our feature request page. So you can always kind of get a little intuition about what's coming up. So I'll get that plug for our listeners in particular. So some of the things I'm really excited about on our roadmap for later this year are actually one that's coming out soon is we'll have an improved timeline toolbar with a bunch of different of the editing features that if you're familiar with video or audio editing, we'll have a hand tool and a blade tool and all of those things. So if you're kind of used to those keyboard shortcuts, that's coming out soon. That'll really help some of our more experienced audio and video editors feel comfortable. even faster screen recording tools, better for sharing some of that asynchronous communication, video communication, a lot of like product feedback or user feedback. I can now do that really quickly with what we're calling the quick edit modal. So that's one thing we're excited about. In terms of, we've got a lot of great back-end speed reliability things coming out to make the product even more stable and faster. Couple of other cool things, webcam resizing, multi-layer screen recording or multi-track screen recording. The ability to import from more places, easier in-app learning tools. So if you're looking for a specific workflow, you can go type that right in and find it directly. All these things just built to make the process even faster. Nothing too crazy yet, but the year is only a few months in. So we'll hopefully come up with something that'll really blow people's minds soon.
Well, it already, I think, blows everybody's mind what it has so far. Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time today. And yeah, people can go to Descript. It's DESCRIPT.com. I'll also have show notes with like links and screenshots and whatnot at thesarahstjohn.com/Descript. Well, awesome. Well, I appreciate the overview, and I think hopefully a lot of people will sign up now.
Always feel free to reach in and write into us. Our webpage is a great place to go for resources. We have live webinars every Tuesday morning. Join in, check it out, see if the product makes sense for you. Maybe we're talking about something slightly different that day, but we host all of our content on our YouTube page too. And we have actually a couple of, if I may say, some hilarious product videos. So yeah, it makes for fun watching and an enjoyable way to get introduced to the product. Like I said, I've spent a lot of my career editing audio, editing video, trying to create these things. And I think we are a tool that a lot of people are going to be really happy with for years to come.
Yeah, definitely. I know I am. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Sarah.
If you enjoyed and found value from this episode, I'd greatly appreciate it if you rate, review, subscribe, and share at ratethispodcast.com/frugalpreneur. Until next time.